Shout out to United Kingdom, United States, Canada. Let me know where you are watching from. We have people from India, Philippines, Australia, people from Germany, Indonesia, Malaysia, the Netherlands, Romania, Morocco, Spain, Poland, Italy, Mexico, South Africa, Sweden, Belgium, Ireland, Israel, Saudi Arabia, Thailand, Vietnam, etc., etc. So thank you so much all for watching. Let me know where you are watching from. Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. The community is very, very strong. Welcome, everyone. Question number one. Kibble is not really good for our dogs and cats. Start researching raw diet or homemade pet food if you don't like the idea of raw. I have always wanted to and thought it was unaffordable. I have recently learned about co-ops and groups to buy bulk. I am starting slow as I gain more information. Golden paste, some raw or cooked meat, along with some kibble, pre and probiotics, fermented foods, and pureed fruit and veg. Ground flax for omega-3s, canned sardines or mackerel for omega-3s. There are many easy things you can do right now to better your pet's health and help them live longer, healthier lives. We stop buying kibble, we support farmers and not greedy, money-hungry, could care less companies. Thank you for the question. I think you are complicating things, and this is something I see all the time whenever I speak to people who maybe are new to raw or who want to do raw, and they unnecessarily complicate things. And I don't think it should be that complicated. I think you should buy a straight 80-10-10, or I think you should buy 80-10-10 with a bit of veg. There's two raw food types of company, the one without veg and one with veg, and I have seen very, very similar, if not identical, results with both. And so you are complicating things, in my opinion. You are doing golden paste, you are doing some raw or cooked meat along with some kibble, you are adding pre and probiotics, you are adding fermented foods, you are adding pureed fruit and veg, you get into ground flax for omega-3s. Keep it simple. We want to feed raw sustainably forever if we can. And the way you do it is by simplifying things. By either batch preparing. If you want to home cook, you can home cook. If you want to do raw from your house and you want to DIY it, that's absolutely fine. But keep it simple. There is no need to complicate everything and try to reinvent the wheel. As far as I'm concerned, we are all. I'm going to take this off because it's actually a little hot here. Everyone is trying to complicate things all the time, and I just think that for sustainability's sake and for longevity's sake, what you want to do is keep it simple. Buy from your local pet shop if you can, and that's what I would do. I wouldn't get bogged down into oily fish, flaxseed, pureed veg, these, that, the other. Keep it very minimal. Speak to someone who will hear you out and try to simplify things. The kibble and the raw. If you are feeding raw, feed raw. If you feed kibble. This is not a matter for a debate. This is what suits you and your lifestyle. And if you can feed raw, great. And if you can't feed raw and can feed kibble, find a good quality kibble and feed kibble. Kibble is not really good for our dogs and cats. I beg to differ, actually. We see and we sell really good quality kibble. Is it the best? Is it the best food you can provide your dog with? No, but all things considered, you can get very high quality kibble. You can get minimally processed kibble. That kibble will be wonderful. Your dog will be fine. Your dog will be happy, and those are the things we have found to be true. Thank you for the question. Purina. Wow, these are some horrid ingredients. I have done another video on Purina because it really does grind my gears. Let me tell you something that I don't really understand. the big three, the big companies in the pet food industry, they have unlimited resources. They have all the vet practices, and I have a point on veterinary services later, so please stay tuned. And they literally have a grip on everything, on the media, on newspapers, on ads on Google and Facebook and what have you. And every time they promote their products, it's as if though their products are amazing. It's all about branding. Our brand is unbelievable. It's a bit like McDonald's sponsoring the Olympics and being like, wow, McDonald's, unbelievable McDonald's. Like, let's not get it twisted. McDonald's is a pile of junk food. And I love McDonald's. But that doesn't mean I eat McDonald's every single day. But whenever we talk about Purina, about the other big three, the ingredients they put in is absolutely ridiculous. I was talking to a doctor the other day, and she was making the point, and obviously this is something we all know. The first ingredient is chicken feather hydrolysate. And what is the value of a chicken feather? What is the value of chicken feathers? You let me know. You tell me. There is no nutritional value. They don't add anything onto our dog's diet. So it's absolutely ridiculous that they portray themselves as being incredibly healthy and incredibly good for our dogs. And then you dig into the ingredients, and just like with Purina, you see sugar. Sugar in pet food, okay, for palatability. I don't want my dog or cat to have a good time with their food. Yes, I want the food to be palatable, but I don't want the food to contain sugar. This is ridiculous. Anyway, according to Purina, one of the many reasons sugar is used in pet food is for taste. Yep, but cats are one of the few animals that do not possess the ability to taste sugar. So the way cats interact with food and with taste, it's very, very interlinked with the sense of smell. They actually have some glands in the mouth and the nose, and they are very, very interlinked. This is why if a cat is under the weather, or if a cat isn't smelling the aromas in the food, they will be very, very reluctant to eat it. And so, yes, they also say can give pets more energy. However, most pet owners want a nice and calm pet. They don't want their pet to be bouncing off the walls all day. There are other ways for our pets to get energy, and consuming sugar only causes a spike in energy, then a drop-off, not long-term energy output. It really doesn't make much sense and sounds like just excuses. Sugar is just as addictive and as damaging to animals as they are for humans. I personally believe they are just adding it so they will scoff their food. If a pet eats this, then the human is happy and keeps buying it. Yes, absolutely. That is the reason. There was an article on The Guardian here in the UK where one of the big companies told the journalist that one of the labs was to do with palatability and the shape of kibble. So the shape of kibble, even the shape of kibble, has been analyzed and tested, and the palatability of different foods has been analyzed and tested. And so they will get dogs and cats in a room, and they will assess which shape kibble and which taste kibble is better for cats and dogs. And so that's how they do it. Everything is measured to a T, and everything, they don't really leave any stone unturned. And so yeah, sugar is just as addictive and as damaging to animal as it is for humans. I couldn't agree more. I just couldn't agree more. Next question. The reason Germany meat packers are more affordable. This is about a company that has moved to Germany, and if you are in the States, this also applies to you. The reason Germany meat packers are more affordable is because they are cutting costs by feeding our animals more fat and low quality meat! Exclamation mark. I have been through this with other companies, including an organic brand from the Netherlands who source their meat from Germany. The company was clueless about a significant quality change that was so disgusting and something I had never seen. A pate-style wet food and my cats had eaten for 1 year changed so dramatically that I sent pictures. Sorry, I got a bit of a cough. The quality team investigated and they had no clue what was going on. The meat packer replied that what I was seeing was simply chunks of intestines and fat. They gaslit me. Let me tell you something about German food, about Dutch food, about food in general. Here in the UK, wherever you are in the world, you can find meats from everywhere but your own country. If you go to Aldi or Lidl, for example, here in the UK, you will see meats from New Zealand, from Australia, from wherever. And they will prioritize those meats before they prioritize British farmers or American farmers or whatever. So if you think that people moving production to a different country, aka Germany, is detrimental to your dog's food, I don't think you quite understand how this thing works. Furthermore, the brand you are alluding to is a white label brand. And white label brands, and this is very, very interesting, even if this doesn't pertain to you, a lot of the ingredients, say 80, 90, 95% of ingredients in all of pet foods come from the same 3-4 suppliers. Everything, all of them. Unless a company has their own manufacturing. The only thing they change can be the bag, the packaging, the branding. Maybe they can add a bit of this, a bit of that, whatever. But the ingredients come from the same companies, and this applies also to some of the human foods we consume. We have Cargill, we have Nestle, and we have a couple more companies, and those pretty much control the food supply chain when it comes to ingredients. Just like in the States, I believe there's 3 meat companies that rule the whole meat industry. And that's just the way it is. Just like there's 3 chocolate companies, for example, that rule the whole world. We have Hershey's in the US, we have Nestle, we have Cadbury's, and we have Roche, I think. So at the top, the ingredients come from the same place. If a company has a manufacturing plant or is manufacturing a brand of food in a particular country and the costs get out of control, they might decide to move production somewhere else. But we are talking about Germany. We aren't talking about some developing country, with all my respects. So Germany and the UK will have very, very similar standards. They aren't going to put rubbish in the food in Germany, are they? So I'm sorry to hear that, but I don't think you are quite right. Informative video. Purina is one of the sacred big 3. Yes, to the dry food feeders. The US recipe does not list sugar correct. It does contain carrageenan, which is banned in the EU, but it is also 45% carbohydrate. This for puppies and adult dogs. According to the Kibble crowd, all life stages is bad. Either the nutrients are too low for a growing puppy or too high for an adult dog. Yes, so interesting. This is very, very interesting because we always see puppy and adult on the front of bags of kibble. And this is something that we instinctively do and consumers instinctively do. What is the best puppy food? Well, the best puppy food isn't the one that says puppy, is the one with the best ingredients and the one that is the best. Not because something says puppy is good and something for senior dogs is suitable for senior dogs if the recipe is bad. I don't know how it is in the US, but in the UK, a lot, and I mean a lot, of companies do not even make the effort to diversify ingredients or alter ingredients. They put the same ingredients, the exact same ingredients in puppy and adult dog food. And then they sell, obviously, the puppy food as a premium, at a premium. And this is the way things are. And I tell people every time they come into our shops, there is an argument that when the puppy is 8 weeks old, 10 weeks old, 12 weeks old, they need a bit more fat and they need more calories and they need something which is a bit more substantial. And in that case, sometimes the puppy versions of those foods contain a tiny bit more fat, but it is negligible in my opinion. As for Purina, 45% carbohydrates is a lot. I don't think it's a very good food. It will never be a very good food, and this is just the state of things, really. People feed Purina. People love Purina. I had a chat with a couple the other day actually, and they were feeding Royal Canin something, and the dog had recurrent gut issues, and I said to them, well, you probably want to look at the ingredients in your dog's food if the dog has recurring tummy issues. And I asked, well, what do you feed? And they were like, well, we feed Royal Canin. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, you probably should look at the ingredients. The ingredients aren't very good. And the guy said, well, the dog has lasted 10 years so far. So, and I'm like, so your dog has a problem, has had a problem for quite some time. I am trying to help. I'm trying to say, hey, you should probably check the ingredients. I can help you check the ingredients. You don't have to buy from me. I couldn't give a monkeys if you bought from me. But at least the dog will be healthy. The dog will be healthy. I'm really sorry, I've got a bit of a cold. The dog will be a lot healthier. And so people sometimes do not want to listen. And that is okay. They don't want to listen. And it's sad because these dogs don't live very good lives. The dog might be 10, but the dog has recurring gut issues. And the dog is not really going to get better because all they feed is these Royal Canin with pretty subpar ingredients, and it's going to cost them in the long term. So yeah. I just found sharp, jagged pieces of what looks like chicken beak in my wet cat food, along with fat and gristle bits. So frustrated. Well, I would recommend you contact the manufacturer. I don't really know what you want me to do. Yeah, sometimes these things might happen, and you should probably contact your manufacturer. They'll be very, very apologetic. I don't think any manufacturer will laugh in your face. They will try to be as amenable as possible and try to help you with your sharp, jagged pieces of what looks like chicken beak. Fun fact: your cat might actually eat the beak. So, because they are predators, they are carnivores, and they eat beaks and they eat everything. If they caught a bird and ate a bird, they would eat the beak and they would eat absolutely everything. Yeah, even the fat and the gristle, even the intestines and even the heart and even everything. They are carnivores. They are what they are meant to eat, really. I have some very interesting news for you. I have interviewed a vegan vet, and the interview will come out probably next week, so stay tuned. And before you get into the whole debate or whatever, I really do want you to give it a listen, because I am just fascinated about this. I just think that the state of play, right, is we have vegan doctors advocating for plant-based dog food, vegan dog food. We have raw vets advocating and promoting raw food. We have prescription diets, we have kibble, we have wet, and we have highly decorated vets behind all these brands. And so what I am going to do in the next few weeks is explore every single angle and try to come up for you guys with the best I can probably come up with in terms of what makes sense to you. Let's listen to the other side. Let's listen to other arguments. I get bogged down sometimes whenever I speak to vets and they say that ingredients don't matter, for example. Or when I was interviewing this vegan vet, and she was saying that dogs have evolved, they're no longer wolves, which is true, and that they, among other things, that they now need at least 50% carbohydrates. She also says that meat is very cheap to make and to source, and those are the fatty foods, the cravey foods. You'll hear the interview. She says some fascinating stuff. It's a fascinating conversation. I thought the conversation would go in different ways, but I think you are going to find it valuable, and I do think you are going to enjoy it. And a lot of the questions I am, because whenever you talk to these people, right, and what I'm trying to do is I am trying to assess what you would want to ask. What are you interested in? And that's the role I'm trying to play. I'm trying to dumb myself down to the level of me, of the level of just a regular punter, which I am. And as I say, I'm a monkey, and I just, you shouldn't probably listen to me. But I do have read a lot, and I do know what's going on. But I want to dumb it down. Like, I'm not a vet. I'm a monkey. I'm not, I don't really have that type of education. So, what are their arguments? How can someone who knows nothing about pet food, how would someone approach that sort of conversation? And so that's what I'm trying to do with the kibble vets, with the vegan vets, with the raw food vets, and what is going on, really. And the interview, in my opinion, is fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. And I left the interview a little bit confused, and if I'm confused, you might be confused too, because these people speak with such authority and with such confidence. In this case, about plant-based diets for dogs, and it's just baffling, really. It's absolutely baffling. So yeah, that is coming out hopefully next week, and so yeah. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.